let's I already have a repo for this. Like I said, I built like this little login page for it yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, so this is what I've got so far if you guys are interested. It's this super basic component. It's just a login component, and I went to the gym once. It was spelled gym though. They sold sandwiches. Are you talking about Jimmy John's? That's funny. I've been going to the gym since I was 18. I used to be super overweight, and I got very addicted to like just fitness in general, and it's like a big part of my life now. But I do have a funny story. One time I was at the gym, and there's this guy who came in every night, and my assumption, I don't know for sure, my assumption was that he was the kind of guy that told his wife, hey, I'm going to the gym, just to escape for a little bit, because he would walk in, he would sit at the chair by the door, right? And he would always have a bag of Wendy's or McDonald's or Burger King, and he would just sit there, eat his meal, play on his phone, and then throw away his bag and then go home. I don't really know whatever happened with that guy, but I feel like that was one of those guys that just like, I'm gonna tell my wife I'm going to the gym every night. It was funny. Need to start going again. I'm skinny as a rail, and it's super hard for me to put on weight. You just gotta eat, man. You probably got one of them super speed metabolisms. You just need to eat. I'm the opposite. I think about like a brownie or a cheeseburger, and I'll gain about 5 pounds. So my diet's super dialed in all the time. I don't even know, honestly, the last time I've not been on a diet. Like I said, I'm 32. I've been going to the gym since I was 18 now. It's been a while. It's been a while. I don't even know what a day looks like where I don't have a specific diet or I'm at the gym in the morning. It's just part of my routine. Whew, 110 at 5'4". Lanky. Gotta eat. Yeah, I wish I was you guys. Fast metabolisms. I got a buddy of mine who's the same way, and he wanted to start going to the gym with me. I think I was like 20 or 21 at the time, and I was like, dude, just eat. Just eat. Make sure you have a lot of protein in every meal. If you're not gonna track your calories and whatnot, that's the best way to go if you got high metabolism. And that dude put on some muscle. Dude looks insane. Like to this day, still looks pretty great. But yeah, you guys that that have metabolisms that are on fire. First off, you guys are lucky. Second, you guys just need to eat a lot. High calorie foods, lots of protein. But yeah, so far all I've got in this build is a super simple login component. You load up the app and it takes you to this component. You could type in something here if you want. It doesn't matter. If you hit login, it just takes you to the feed. And this is all I have so far, just a little icon up here in the navigation bar. It's super basic, so we're gonna build out the fun stuff today. Like I said, all I did though was just I just have this little login screen because I didn't want to have to do all this today. And then also I was gonna just build this by myself. And I was like, you know what? This would be a cool stream. But if you want to know how this component works, it's very simple. Inside the app of the project, it's super simple. We're just checking if logged in is true. By default, it's false. You're not logged in. And if it is set to false, then you render this login page component. If not, you render the feed. And once I was finished building out this login, all I did was just change this to true so I don't ever see it anymore. And I'm just always on this page. So it's a little easier to start writing the code and figuring out how I'm going to build this app. But yeah, pretty simple. And then we also have a dark mode set up. Right now it's set to false. And all it's doing is if dark mode is true, we're going to add the class of dark to this container, which is basically the parent for the entire app. And if it has dark right here, then all the dark classes get picked up. Let me show you an example. So in our navbar, let's see, if I do a BG red 500 and we go back and we set login to true so that we don't see it, we'll see this, right? And if we say dark, BG, we'll just go BG black, nothing happens. And that's because dark mode is set to false. But if we set it to true, we'll have our dark mode UI. So super basic stuff is kind of already set up for us. It was really hard to not finish building some of this out yesterday. I really wanted to, but we're gonna do it today on stream. It'll be fun. I haven't built a clone in a while. I think my last clone was a Slack clone, which was really fun, and I don't have it anymore. I wish I did. I go through phases where I'm like, this code sucks, and I'm gonna just delete it. Delete the entire repo, and it was really cool. It was obviously just a front-end build, but you would like log in, you would get into Slack, and then like I think I had like a 5-second timeout, and a message would pop up from someone, it was just hard-coded, and I was able to react to their message if I wanted to. I could put reactions. I was able to type a message. I was able to reply to them and type a message. It was kind of cool. It was just like a front-end build, just really just to kind of practice things. But that was the last clone I ever built. And I had a cool little Easter egg where, you know how on Mac you have the red, orange, and green buttons in the top left? You could actually click the red one to close it, and it would just show a desktop. It was kind of cool. Made you feel like you're actually on an operating system. And I think I had a Slack icon somewhere on there, and if you double clicked it, it was able to bring Slack back up. Yeah, why I deleted it, I don't know. Not my smartest move. It was like HTML, CSS though. But regardless, I should have kept it. Let's go back and change dark mode to false, because we're going to be building this out in light for the majority of it. Well, we'll see. It's really just changing a some state if my eyes feel like they're hurting. But let's go ahead and change these. By the way, if you guys are working in Tailwind and you want to know how to set like a dark and light mode based off of just a class name on just the app, it's super simple. Once you set up Tailwind, all you have to do is in your Tailwind config, just set dark mode to a selector, and then every child element of the class name of dark will have dark styles applied to it via selectors, like I showed you with the you give this dark prefix to it, and it'll be the values that'll be picked up if dark is true, which is kind of cool. Dennis, sorry for being late. I'm here now. Well, you still beat Soli, so you're good. We're just kind of talking right now. Haven't really started much anything. What are you up to today, Dennis? How are you doing? Kind of just going over what we got so far in here. I'll briefly go over it whenever we actually like fully get started with the stream today. Gym was great. I rocked it. Work was nice. Sounds like a good day to me. It's pretty much how all my days go. I wake up super early. I go to the gym and I come home and I work. And if I don't do either of those things, like on the weekends, my days are really off. But Monday through Friday, it's my routine. How long are you going to be watching the stream for, Dennis? I'd like to get some Supabase stuff done before you have to hop. I don't think this will be a super long stream, though. But I wasn't going to do any Supabase stuff, and I was like, you know what? We never did it the other day. And if you're going to be on the stream today, I figured we'd do some Supabase. If it doesn't give us issues. It was actually really hard to deal with vanilla JavaScript, though. I'm not going to lie, but it's okay with React. Does anyone want to see a sneak peek of some code adventures that are coming? I think they're pretty much finished. I just need to get them uploaded and onto the site. So I'm cool with showing you guys a little sneak peek if you want to see it. Got 3 new code adventures coming. Admittedly, all the ones that are up there now are we're pretty rushed to get the product out. So all the new code adventures is going to be pretty nice. You're going to have a lot of time put into them, time and effort. Hey Dennis, are you familiar with Threads at all? The app? It's kind of like a social media platform. It's kind of like Twitter. You never even heard of Threads? It's basically Instagram's version of Twitter. It's pretty cool. I really, really like it. I like the UI. It's very nice. Yeah, just go to like threads.net. I'd do it. Well, I can do it. It'll probably show my feed, which is probably just a bunch of fitness stuff and whatnot. But yeah, see, fitness stuff. But Threads is really, really simple. It's basically like Twitter. You just click here, create a post. You can add an image, a GIF, hashtag, or a poll. And that's basically it. But like I said, their UI has a dark mode and a light mode, but their dark mode's like super black. So I think what I want to do for the clone is make like a dimmed version. But it's a very basic application. You write a post and it creates a post. So it's gonna be pretty simple. I'm gonna go over the UI that we're gonna do real quick one more time, and then we're gonna get started. So this is mostly for Dennis since he joined a little late, but we already have this built out. I did this yesterday. It's very basic. It's just the cool little Threads background image and a form, and the form doesn't work. It really just lets you click login and it takes you to the feed page. So I'll show you that part now. Let me get to the code. So it's basically set up in state though, like if users logged in, show that page. If not, don't. So if we go to pages, I have login and feed, and inside of app, I'm basically setting is logged in to true. So we're getting the feed page instantly. But if I set that to false, this is the page that you get loaded up with when you first open the app. And this, like I said, this was built yesterday. It's just done really quickly. I didn't want to have to do this on stream. But you could type stuff in here if you want. You don't really have to. But if you hit login regardless, it's going to take you straight to the feed page. And the feed page is going to be very, very basic. It's just going to have this navigation up here. And then our header is going to have just the logo here and our drop down menu, which we're going to have some options in here, and we're going to build out only one of the options logic today, which is going to be the dark mode. And then, yeah, you just have your little thing up here that you're going to click. And when you click it, this will pop up and you'll be able to create a post. And then once you make the post, it's actually going to show up here. It's going to come from our database. You're going to be around for about an hour and a half. I think I can get to the Supabase stuff by then. We'll see. I don't think it'll be a long stream. And as y'all saw, it has a super dark mode in the actual app, and I think we're going to make this dimmed version of it. Also, just so that we can get our image here for whoever wants to use this. We're going to authenticate with Firebase. I'm not going to do that on stream. I might actually just submit this as an extra feature later because it's a little bit more involved. But there'll be a login with Google button, and if you click it, it'll log you in with Google. You'll actually be in your legitimate Google account, and you can make a post. But it's really just the front end. You're not actually making a post anywhere, and it's just going to go to my database. It's just going to have a bunch of posts. So theoretically, I think when this works, if you log in with your Google account and you make a post, I'll be able to see it. It'll basically be like a little wall that we can all just come write something on whenever we want. But yeah, it's a super basic app. And the only other thing is, if you guys like this, I do want to mention that this could be a little series. So when you create a new post, you have these 4 options here that if you want to write a post, you can, but you can also add an image, add a GIF, add a hashtag, or add a poll. So I think maybe next stream we'll figure out how to add an image, then maybe a GIF, then a hashtag, and then a poll. So this could be like a little series, which I've never done either of those before, so it'll be fun. But let's just get started building this out a little bit. So just to reiterate, we have is logged in set to false. So if I refresh the page, we're gonna get here. And this is already pretty much finished, so I don't want to have to click login every time we make a change. So I'm just going to set that to true so that we're already always logged in. And now every time we refresh the page, we'll be on the feed page, which is what we're going to be working on. And here is what we're going to build. So I already have the little logo up here, right here. So we're just going to start working on this. I think all of these icons I got from like Font Awesome. We're going to keep using those because I'm not importing Flowbyte. And I think we can use just Font Awesome icons with React. This I made because it kind of mimics the actual threads thing. So I'm going to probably, let's copy that and export it as an SVG so I can use it. Let's give it like a bigger width though. Do like 100. Ooh, that's big. That's good though. So let's export as a SVG. Can we go to code, clones, go to source, assets, and we'll call this ham for ham menu. And now we can just go delete it. Cool. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to use the skeleton component with Tailwind for this, but they do make a cool component that kind of mimics the way this looks, which is just a loading state. It's not going to look like this. It's actually going to look like that. But maybe I'll have like one of these pop up while it's loading my thread. I don't know. Let's get started. Also, if it's too bright, let me know. We can work in dark mode if you need to. Oh, speaking of, we already have that set up. So it's set to false, but when it's set to true, dark will be added as a class name to the app component, which is the parent for everything. And in the Tailwind config, I have dark mode set to selector. So if app has the class of dark, any dark style we add with Tailwind will override light styles. So it's already set up. Dennis said we need to. Okay, so if that's the case, we'll just set up dark mode now. So I'll just say true. And we don't have any of those styles in here yet, but let's go ahead and make sure it's working, which I'm pretty sure it is, but we'll just make sure. So we're loading the feed page. So if we say class name BG white, but we say dark BG, let's go like zinc 800. It'll give us this dark background color. And if we set dark mode to false, it should just go back to white. Okay, cool, it is. So that's cool. Let's just build in dark mode so Dennis doesn't die. Or his eyes, anyway. Min, height, screen. Make it a full-on dark mode. And honestly, that's probably going to be it for that just main app. I mean, the main parent. And we're rendering the Navbar. So let's go inside of our Navbar component and work on it a little bit. The only thing I've gotten here, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this to you yet, Dennis, since you joined a little late, but I built like a couple of things yesterday. Just this Navbar with the image in here and then our login screen. That's not showing anymore, but I'll show you real quick. It's right here. Why is this red? Oh, I think it's a dark mode thing that I had. So if I go to login, yeah. So I have dark text red 500. I think I was just testing the dark mode. But yeah, if you click this, it'll go straight to the other page. But we're just for ease of use, we're gonna set logged in to true so that we don't have to log in every time we refresh the page. Cool, cool, cool. All right, this will be a pretty basic build. We're not gonna go too crazy with this. I don't want to stream all day long. I feel like you guys much prefer just a few hour stream instead of like a 6-hour stream. So real quick, let's see what we got actually going on in this Navbar component. So we're saying with full, max width 1440 pixels. So if I go too far, you'll see it stops. So it's like centered because I have margin set to auto. So that's great. And we have a little bit of padding. And then all we have in here is our SVG with a size set to 50 pixels, which I think is a little big. So we're going to go a little smaller. Also, let's open up threads to compare. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's almost like a 1-for-1. Also, apologies to anything that shows up on my threads feed. It's probably just going to be fitness and coding stuff, though, anyway, but still. But yeah, that's cool. It's almost like a 1-to-1 match right away. I am seeing a little zoom on hover. We could set that up. Let's say hover scale. How's scale work? Is it like something like this? Okay, cool. Yeah. Let me give it a duration. Like 200. Cool, cool. Wow, that's like a 1-for-1 already. I think we're doing pretty good. When will you do MySQL? As soon as I learn MySQL. Do you say MySQL or MySQL? I've written a little bit of it before in the past. It's just been a long time, and I don't really use databases all that much. I'm still pretty new to the backend kind of stuff. And I've really only worked with Firebase and Supabase. But I'm not against learning it, especially if you want to. My squeal? Who says my squeal? It's been a long time without you, my friend. Yeah. Drop me some resources on where I should go to learn it. Also, since we're using an SVG for this, let's set up like a... What is it? The fill is set to none. Can I do like a text red 500? Does that actually color it? Do I have to use fill? What if I did red? Does that work? No. That doesn't work either. How can I color this SVG? I mean, this isn't a bad color. It works for both dark and light mode. What's it look like in Figma? So we have it white. I would like to make it white. Path fill. Yeah, I already have fill here, but it's not. Oh, path fill? Oh, you know what? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. What if I go red? Does that work? Sweet. All right, so let's do a little bit of testing. We'll say dark mode. And if so, let's do white. Else. I'm not sure what color were we using for this. Just like a black. Oh, it's like a dark gray. All right, how's this look? Well, that broke everything. Oh, you know what? I don't think we're passing in dark mode. So let's say props. And we can say const dark mode is equal to props. And then inside of, what is this, Navbar? So we're gonna have to go to feed and we'll say dark mode equals dark mode, which we're gonna also have to pass here. And then we just need to pass it from app. Cool, there we go, and now we see it. And if we set dark mode to false, it should go black. And it does, pretty cool. Brian's in the house. What's up, Brian? Brah brah. All right, we're gonna keep it in dark mode so Dennis doesn't hate me and he comes back for more streams. I do wanna put like a cursor pointer, and right now it's not really taking us anywhere, but you know, just for aesthetics. Give me a sec, guys. I'm making sure everything's working on the stream thing here. Okay. Cool. Now what? I guess now we can work on this little mini nav. I'm on Linux. Hey, good stream. Thanks. Thanks for popping in. We are building a Threads clone. Slowly but surely. Oh, Brian, since you're a little late. I built a little bit of this out yesterday, just kind of like the basic stuff. But we have two pages here. We have our login page and our feed, and we're really mostly going to be working on the feed. But if we go to the app component and we set is logged in to false, initially we're actually going to be given this like login page. It doesn't do anything. It's very simple. It just sets the is logged in to true, and if it is, we render the feed page instead of the login page. And if you just click the button, it does it. So you can do that, and we're into the feed, which is kind of super basic. But and Soli isn't here. Yeah, Soli's coming. She's at the supermarket. She decided to go grocery shopping first. Brian is later than me too. Yeah, he is. Brian's a little late. Let's work on the nav. What I think I'm gonna do is we're gonna probably just create the nav by itself, and we're gonna absolute center it inside the actual nav bar. And the only two non-absolute positioned elements of this is gonna be the logo and our ham menu. So I might as well just do the ham menu now, and we'll use flex to like position them. Yeah, I think that works. I'm gonna also make the code a little bit smaller, so I got a little bit more real estate. If it's too small for y'all, let me know. Okay, so we have that SVG, and now let's go and grab ham. We're gonna grab this. Cool, it worked. We're gonna set the fill to the exact same thing that we're setting this fill, which is checking for dark mode and then rendering the right color. So it should be white. Oh, that's so weird. Is it rendering two things? Yeah, it's rendering them separately right here. That's kind of weird. Oh well, I'm not worried about it. If we set the dark mode back to true, false, does it also change? Oh yeah, we also need to make sure we're logged in. Okay, cool, so it does. So let's set dark mode back to true. Cool. All right, so this is our hamburger menu, and this right here is our logo. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say flex and then space between. I think that's what it is. No, is it? Is it flex between? Oh, is it justify between? There we go. Also, it's very, very big. What do? We set the size to 40 on this one. Honestly, let's just copy all of the class names for that. And we'll pop them into here as well. Cool. All right, so we have them set at 100% width, but a max width of 1440, so it doesn't go too far. I think 1440 is still a little big, though. I'm not a JavaScript developer. Current stack is Scala, so I'm always confused about module system and transpilers, CommonJS, Module.js, ES Module, Babel, Webpack, etc. There are many projects which use different stacks. Some projects use type, module, some projects not. Why are there so many different approaches without a standard way? Could you please inform me about this? Honestly, I don't know. Are you talking like if you go into package.json, we have type set to module right here. I think that's just how like you import it, and I think that's just like ES6. I could be wrong. Brian, if Brian's on, Brian might have a little bit better context about it. It allows you to like, it allows importing easier whenever you have it set with modules. I don't know. It's confusing. It's actually really hard when you're not using modules or ES6. And why there's not a standard, I really don't know. I think there is kind of a standard, which is like just using ES6. I think the old way is just that. It's just the old way of doing it. Use import instead of require. Yeah, so if you weren't using that, you would have to say like const logo. Well, this is me just importing something, but let's say you would say const Supabase equals require and then the package name, like Supabase or something. I don't know why. It's just easier just importing. At least when working in like React and stuff like that. When you're using like standard HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript, require is, I think, what works out of the box. I could be wrong. I'm not super knowledgeable on like the nitty gritty stuff like that. All right, let's create our actual menu. So we'll create a component for this. We'll just say menu and let's import it. Import menu from, where are we? We are inside of components. So yeah, I'll just leave it in components. And we need to go create it so it stops yelling at me. Cool, so now we see menu right in the center. And honestly, because the width of this image and this one are identical, I don't need to absolutely center it since we're already using justify space between. So unless we have any issues, we'll just create the nav menu in here. I think it'll be basic. But I do want to change this to a UL. And we're just gonna render a few list items in here, but we also need to set it up like that. And we're gonna use font awesome icons. I just never remember the syntax. How? Oh wait, this is from last night. We can use this again. FA threads, FA font awesome. Do I already have that package installed? The font awesome stuff. That'd be awesome. I do. Look at that. All these icons. All right. Let's use some font awesome icons here. So I believe we're using the home icon. This one. React. Let's use let's use that. Did it copy? Yeah, it did. It's a SIN to tax your brain. It's a sin to tax your brain with remembering syntax, copy paste. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the information. Yeah, no problem. Wish I had more info for you though, Linux. All right, so let's just see if this is working. I don't remember actually, you know what? I am using, no, I'm not using any icons yet. I don't remember how we import the top part. Let me save this and let me ask. Or wait, is it already in here? Yeah, I think it is. Here we go. Let's copy that, paste it at the top of the file. And then we'll just change FA threads to FA house. Fat house, FA house. And I think that should be enough. Yeah, cool. We get our little logo up there. Great. So now let's just do a few more of these to match the icons in the Figma file that I made. So we're gonna need, we have a house, we're gonna need a magnifying glass, we're gonna need the new post, heart, and a user. Just kidding, of course. Let's go back to Font Awesome. Magnifying glass is the next one. Cool. Second one's gonna be the magnifying. FA magnifying glass. How does that look in here? It would be FA magnifying glass, like that. Cool. What's the next one? We do right. Go to free. Here we go. I like this one. And this one is FA pin to square. FA pin to square, like that. Also, we need to actually use these values. I don't know why it's not doing that. More like editing than writing. Yeah, I do agree. That's what they use like in the actual threads thing though. Take a look. If I were to go make a new post, see? Kind of same thing. It's basically just writing a post. But that's the only like icon that I really get from Font Awesome that's kind of the same. What was it called? Fa pin to square, like that. What was the next one we needed? Heart. Heart. Does that work? Yep, it does. And then we need the user, which I think is just FA user. Let's see if I don't even need to go to Font Awesome. Hey, there we go. Here's the issue though. These are solids. I don't want solids. So let's go and type in heart. I want this one. So it's, no, it's still FA heart. FA regular. Maybe we don't have access to that using it this way. Not a big deal. I'm not worried about it. For the UL, let's do a class name of text white to give these a white appearance. But this is going to be in dark, so we'll have it like that in dark. And by default, what do we want? I want this color. What color is this? And we're also going to need to set an active state on the first one. All right, so if I go, I just want to make sure. I'm not going to do this every time, but I just want to make sure. So if we go back to app and we set dark mode to false. All right, cool. I just want to make sure they're the right color. And they are. Looks good. Oh, let's go back and set it back to true so Dennis doesn't scream at me. Dennis do be liking to scream at me. Say flex, justify center. items center as well. And I'll do a gap of like 2. And we're definitely going to up the font size. We'll say text LG or 3XL maybe. Make them a little bigger. Definitely going to up that gap though. Maybe a gap of like something massive, like 10. Cool. And by the way, this text white is only going to be for the active states. So let's figure out what that state's looking like, what the colors are looking like without it. Is it the same color we're using for light mode? No, it's different. And we'll say, oops, li class name text white for the first one. We're just gonna hard code it because we're not actually adding any states to any of this stuff today. Cool, I think that looks pretty good. Cool. All right, guys, I will be right back. Give me like 2 minutes or so. I need to go get some water. I forgot to grab it before the stream started. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Start the timer. Come on, guys. Got my water. We're good. My music did stop, though. Not your music, but mine. I gotta have some music in my headset, or I'm not worth a crap coding. One thing I did really like was these background hovers. So let's maybe work on that instead of using a gap, you know? Which I think should be pretty simple, but we might make this list item a component so we don't have to like update the classes every single time. Or you know what? Let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that. I don't want to make this super complex because I would if these are going to be like extra, like they're actually going to do things, but as of right now, they're not. So yeah, we'll see. What am I listening to right now? Let's see, where'd Spotify go? I'm listening to Keeping Secrets by Fit for a King. Very good song. It's one of their newest songs, new release. It's definitely worth the listen if you like some heavy music. What is this gap 10? Because I don't like it. I want more. 40 pixels? Let's do like a 60 pixel gap. That looks a lot better. Cool. Yeah, check it out. I think you'll like it. I feel like you and I have pretty similar taste in music. These icons are a little too big though. So we'll say text 2L. There we go. That looks good. And on hover, these are gonna be for the list items. Yeah, let's create a component. We'll say menu item.jsx. And this is just going to return a list item. Well, do we want to do that if we're going to have to pass? Well, yeah, we're just passing an icon. That's fine. I feel like I just do not have enough real estate today. List item, actually menu item is what we called it. And we're going to pass in an icon. And we're going to pass in active, which we're going to say true for the first one, then false for the rest, right? And then we'll pass in this icon here. I think we could pass in a component as an icon, right? Sure. And this is menu item, not items. And I also need to import it. So import menu item from menu item. It's not like in something, I didn't save this yet, but we're gonna take in the props and say const icon, and what was the other one? Active equals props. Now we can use it. And I'm just gonna pop in the icon here. And it worked, I believe, right? Yeah. These are just, they don't actually exist. Okay, cool. So if active is true though, we'll say class name, and we'll say if active is true, we'll add the class of active. Or we could just say text white, to be honest. So, cool. And then that'll be easy to update later if we want to update that. So now let's create a few more of these. And we will say false for all of those. And then we're just gonna pass in these icons. That way we're not updating all the class names and whatnot for each item if we want to do that later. You know? All right, let's also just remove these because we don't need those anymore. All right, so this all should work the same. And it does, great. But it does make me want to also... we could bring in that class names package we used in the last stream. I just don't want to look it up again though. But I also want to add a class and I don't want to mess up this. I think we have to figure out how to interpolate it. Don't worry about it. We're good. We're good. All right, so this is our menu so far, and I think it looks pretty good, except the 1440 width is a little large for me. So let's do like 1,000 or something. And that's going to be on the feed. Or no, I lied. This is actually our navbar. Yeah, so we have 1440 right here. Let's just do 1,000. There we go. And I think that kind of mimics how it works here. It's a little wider on here. What did 1440 look like? Did it match it? It did. They're using, or not, maybe not. No, that looks like they're using a little bit less than 1440. Theirs is about right here. I don't know what this is. But our images are a little bigger too. Not by much, but just a little. Which we can just zoom out. Or maybe I'm zoomed in over here. No. Oh well, it's not a big deal. I'm not trying to go one for one. I'm not a perfectionist. That's Brian. The dev tools will tell you the window size. What's up, Mini Scruff? Welcome back. But yeah, you're right. You're right about that. I didn't even think about that. There we go. All right, where am I? Ooh-wee. DevTools are laggy on Firefox. feels like Chrome, to be honest. Yeah, theirs is close to, it's probably 1280. Oh, right here, it's at 1220. They're using 1220. All right, so we're gonna use 1220. It's probably gonna look pretty similar. Oh no, there we go. There we go. Pretty much perfect match. Except they're using smaller icons. You know what, we might as well just do that too. Menu items, let's go back to menu. I think I got the text set to like 2XL. Let's just do XL. Actually, that's for these icons. I like that 2XL, so we'll leave that. Okay. And those are basically the same size, to be honest. Theirs is spaced out a little bit more, but I think it's fine. With our icons, these look pretty good. But for the navbar, the SVGs are set at 40. Let's go to 35. Makes them a little bit smaller. It's fine. I think it looks cool. I don't know what they're using for this icon. I'm using just something I made on Figma. I don't know. I don't really know all that much about media queries with Tailwind because I'm still pretty new to it and I haven't done any like responsive work with Tailwind yet. But I can see. Why am I not getting IntelliSense max width? All right, let's see. Rollhald, if he's here, he might know, but let's see. We're at 5 something pixels. Okay, so they have a 1280 at 80 rim. And then right before that, they have 1152. So I think if we use 7 times 1, so what was it, 7x1? Oops. Max width 7x1, I think it was. Was that it? Or was that a dash? Oh no, did I lose it? Max width. Let's go back down. Oh, 7x. Is that a 1? Why didn't it work? Let's just click on it. There we go. Yeah, I don't think that's an L. I think that's a 1. Oh no, it was an L. So it's 7 extra large, and it equates to that 12. What was it? 1280. So a little bit larger, but it's probably close enough to where we can use it, honestly. Yeah, theirs is a little bit narrower, but that's fine. We can use that. That way I'm not like using my own value. They just have a few size defined in the list. Yeah, that 1280 was that XL. Oh, that's for the media query. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what these their default values, and I've been like just hard coding it myself with the little brackets. But I'll probably remember that one now. Cool. All right, I think we basically have our little nav bar set up. I don't really want to do much more, except maybe what we can do. Let's work on that drop down. So here they have this. I'd like to replicate it, and only appearance will actually do anything, where we can actually change it to light, dark, or auto. But maybe this could be a feature. Who knows? Let's just, I know Dennis has to go in like an hour, I think. So let's work on the making the post so that we can use the database, so you can kind of see how that works with Supabase. I'm anxious to see if I can get it to work too. It's been a minute since I've used Supabase. In an hour? Yeah, we'll see if we can get that done. I'll save the dark mode stuff for later. That's easy. And I've done it a zillion times. All right, so what am I looking at here? Let's go back to Figma. All right, so yeah, I think that really is it. So now, how do we want to do the feed? So What I do want to do though, actually, while I'm thinking about it, is set this navbar to fixed. I want to see if that's going to break anything, and set the top to 0. Does it break anything? Okay, so it doesn't break anything. Cool. And if I put a container here, we'll say height, 200 view height. I don't even think that's gonna work. Class name, BG red 500 with, sorry, height, 200 view height. Does that do anything? It makes everything go away, that's for sure. I don't know. We'll deal with it later. It's an easy fix. I just want to make sure this stays up because I think with threads, like if you just, yeah, see it has like that. Oh, look at this cat. That's cool. The navbar will stay up, which is cool. I like that blur effect too. That'll be fun to do. Cool. So yeah, let's work on this. I don't understand how I'm gonna do this though. So this might be its own component right here, and then I think the feed will be its own component. Yeah, I think that'll probably be the best way to kind of knock this section out. So we'll call this a create post. And when you click on it, it's gonna bring up this modal. So it'll be a create post modal. I guess we'll call this component, or we'll put it in an overlay. Yeah, I think that'll work. By feed component, do you mean a list? So I don't know exactly. I do know already we have a feed component, which is what we're seeing on screen here. This whole section here is the feed component. I have two components. I have our login and our feed. And basically login is just, I have it hard coded to we're already logged in, but if I set the state for logged in to false, you'll get this and you just click the button and it does this. But just for development's sake, I have it like set to true so that I don't have to keep doing that. So this whole component is our feed. I might call since this is already the feed, I might call these like individual, like I might call this component posts and have individual post components inside. And this might be the create post component here, and then the create post modal. I think that's probably the best way to go about it since we already have a component for the feed itself, which kind of encompasses all of that. It's just my thought process on it anyways. Yeah, I think it's kind of what I was thinking. The feed is a list of post type. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's close out of all of this stuff because I'm getting overwhelmed. All right. So let's work on that first one, which is the create post component. So you design a single post and then you just loop through it later as a thing. Yep. Because what I'd like to do is curate all the posts that could be there in state and then just loop through them to create the feed. So it would make sense to just leave them as like a name, naming them like post or something instead of feed, since they're all living on the feed, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me in my brain. It's all good. All right, let's create our next component. So this is going to be the create post.jsx. And let's put it in our feed. So import create post from components create post. And underneath the navbar, we're gonna put create post. And cool, we see it at the very, very top because this is set to a fixed height, which is cool. That's what I wanted. So we're gonna have to have a little bit of margin, probably. Maybe we can put this in like a create post. This could be like the actual like feed, if that makes sense. So say div with a class name, margin top of like, do like 10. Oh, that's not good. Maybe we can do, you know what? We'll do it in the create post since it'll be the first component anyway. And it shouldn't mess anything up. Does the same thing. Maybe we'll just use padding, even though, well, I have an idea. This will still just be the container for it, and everything inside will do the margin top, and it won't break anything. At least I don't think it will. And if so, we'll just use padding, even though I know that's probably not best practice. So if I do a div with a margin top, of like 10, and we just call this component or something, just to see it. Dang, it still does that. It still adds that little thing up here. I guess we can just do padding top. It just sucks. I don't want to have to do it that way. Does that work? No. Padding top, I do like 100 pixels. Yeah, that's fine. What if I say height screen? Why am I not able? Do I have overflow turned off? I don't think I do. Minimum height screen, but I don't have overflow turned off or anything, so I don't know. Not worried about it right now. Anyways. Ooh, did break something though. Oh, you know what? It's because we did set it to fixed. So now that max width, we also need to do some stuff for the menu. That's gonna be in the nav bar actually, not the menu. So we have the position set to fixed. So we need to translate Y 50, translate X 50. Top is already set to 0 and we'll do left 0. I think nothing should change, but now it should stay center. No, it sure doesn't. Are these right? Translate X 50. Oh, you know what? I think it's 1/2, not 50. Like this. Oh, and then it just breaks it. All right, you know what? For now, we're just gonna take the fixed off. I'm not that worried about it. Super easy to implement later. So if we do that, we can also remove the padding from our create post, since it'll just have it, and we can actually probably just use margin top of like 10 now. There we go. But what I'm worried about is if, yeah, so we're gonna have to set up that max width again. What was it? It was 7XL. Yeah, 7XL. I'm gonna just do margin auto. And then margin top 10. Cool. Except we don't want this to be this wide because it doesn't do that here. So we're actually gonna make this like 5XL. Still way too big. 3? 3 would start here. Dang, maybe it's like just XL. Max width XL. There we go. Yeah, that's almost perfect. Cool. So width full as 100. We're gonna have to add some padding so it's not all the way there. And we're gonna have to do some responsiveness for this thing up here too. Also, I just kind of really quick want to see what this is looking like in light mode. Okay, yeah. So I just need to update this color right here, which should be pretty simple. What are we using for that fill? It's this color here. So inside of the Menu item? No. Menu? Yes. All right, so this is going to be in the menu item, actually. Okay, so if it's active, we're going to do text white dark, like that. Why is that not working? Oh, you know what? It doesn't go here. Yeah, it does, actually. So if it's active, I want text to be white, but I want the dark, dark text. There we go. Oh, no, it's not working. Maybe we have to use like a style. That just breaks it. Maybe I don't even need this since this is Tailwind. I can do color. Yeah, what am I doing? Honestly, I don't even think this is gonna work. I'm not worried about it. This will be a bug. Have you guys fix it maybe? I don't want to spend all day on this. Let's just go back and put it back to dark. And now our active state isn't working because I probably messed something up. All right, let's just build out this component. So it's going to be an image, which we're not authenticating with Google in this stream. This will be something I'll probably add. This might be a series because we're going to build out more and more features to this. So for now, I think we'll just have like a circle with like a color in it. And it's just going to start a thread and then have a post button. But nothing's going to happen. You can't type in this. You're just going to be able to click it and it's going to bring up this. So let's work on that. And then the rest should be pretty simple. We're just gonna, whatever we create, we're gonna add to state, and then this feed section here is just gonna pull those from state. So I don't think it'll be too rough. Let's close out of everything. All right, we are in create post component. All right, how does this look? So we'll have our user image, a paragraph tag, and then a post. And none of that's actually going to do anything. It's all just for show. So we'll say user image. We'll say rounded full. BG, let's just do red 500 for now. And we'll do a size of maybe like 20 pixels. It looks pretty small. Maybe a lot bigger than that. 40. 35 would probably be the sweet spot. Then we'll have a paragraph tag that says start a thread. And then we'll have a button that says post. Cool. Text. What's that looking like in light mode? It's like a gray. Are these the same? D83, DB3 analysis, so it is different. No biggie diggy. We'll say text. Actually, this is the dark mode, so dark text. Cool. Let's just grab the value for light mode. And we're gonna make this like a grayish color so it matches. Cool. All right, now we need to position everything, and we also need to style the button a little bit. So class name equals, we're definitely gonna have some padding. We're gonna say rounded full, padding 3 maybe. BG, let's just do something random for now. Yeah, we're gonna say min width, we'll set to 100 pixels. That might be way too big, to be honest. Yeah, let's do like 80. And we're gonna make that padding a lot smaller. That looks pretty good. So for this component, we can just say like a display flex. Let's word wrap. Display flex, and then we'll just say items center. And then for the button, we can say margin left auto, pop it all the way over to the right. And we're gonna update the colors. The colors don't really look that great yet. We're just kind of getting the styling set up. And to the right of the image, we'll say margin right. We could do like 2. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty similar. Maybe a little bit more margin here. And we're gonna darken this. Oops, wrong one. Where's the image? And we're gonna darken this to like 800, 700. That works. Grab this BG color. So we'll say in dark mode, we want the text to be white with a dark mode BG of this color. Cool. And I guess we'll do light mode now while we're here as well. It's just a lighter background. The text is going to stay the same, so I can actually remove the dark part. Yeah, and then I could just do BG like that. Oh, I'm doing it for the wrong thing. Oh no, I was doing it for the right thing. It's for the button, right? Yeah, so say, oh yeah, I already had it here. Like that, remove this. Cool. Dang, do I actually have to specify the color for light mode? Oh, okay, we only specified that, so it's the same, so it should be like that. I do want to lighten this image though. So where is it at? Are we not given a, oh, it's right here. And that's, all right, we're just gonna copy this. Oops, copy it. And we're gonna put dark in front of it. And then we're just gonna paste it in front again and change this to like 3. Cool. And if we go back and we set this to true, cool, I think that looks pretty good. Now the only thing this component's actually gonna do, oh, we do need a border bottom. How do I do border bottom? Is it bottom 2? Border red 500, does that work? No. What does bottom 2 do? It just does that. How do I do border bottom in Tailwind? Let's ask AI. Border bottom in Tailwind. Border B. Cool. That's pretty simple. So we say border B and then border, let's do gray 200, make it kind of light. Do a padding bottom of like 5. Give us a space, maybe 10. Give us some space. How's that look compared? Cool. Just need to make it a lot darker. Oops. And this needs to be zinc. Keep it consistent. 6. What about 7? I think 6 is a little bit better. Cool. And all I want to do is when I click anywhere in here, it's just going to create this modal like that. So we'll just need to set up some state to hide and show an overlay that's going to have all this in there. I wouldn't mind trying to figure out how to do this little animation where it kind of zooms in, which I think would be easy. I think we'll just initially set it to an opacity of 0. And then we'll have like a delay of like 1 second for an animation where it takes it and the scale is like 0.8 to start, and we just bring it to full scale and opacity 100. And I think we'll get this smooth animation as we click in, but also it's going to re-render each time. So I think that should work. I've never really done animations yet in React. I'm very good with them though in vanilla. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so let's go and set up our state for this part. Should be pretty simple, I think anyway. Const, what should we call this? Create post? Yeah, we'll just say create post and then set create post. And that'll be equal to a bool of false. But we'll change it to true, and when it's true, we'll show our overlay. And the overlay is going to be inside of the feed. So we're going to want to, honestly, we're going to want to pass both of these. Create post equals create post, and set create post is equal set create post. Cool, now we've got access to that state in here. Props. Okay. Can I add an on click to a, does anyone know, can you add an on click to a component, or do I have to do it to the markup inside the component? Like, would I just do an on click on this right here? Or can I like take it out a level, go back to our feed? Where's feed? Go back to our feed and add an on click directly to this, like on click. I mean, let's try it. Let's see. Could pass functions through props. Well, set create post is a setter function, so we'll say true. We can try this. We're gonna need to take in the set create post though. All right, where are we? We're inside of feed. So I'm gonna need to, okay, so it already has set create post in here from props, and on click set create post to true. Okay, so that should be everything we need. Let's check and see if it's actually updating that state that we're making. Where's all my stuff? Why is Firefox looking all weird? All right, so it's in here. It's currently set to false. If I click this, nothing happens. False is a non-bool attribute for class name. What are you talking about? What is this for? Where am I Where am I doing that at? It's not giving me the component that it's menu item. Let's see, inside menu item. What's wrong with this? Do I need to just like give it a condition? Like that? Okay, yeah, that fixes it. Okay, does this work? I don't think it is. I don't see my state updating. True, true, and false. We click on this, clicking. It's staying false, so no, it's not working. Let's see. We are inside the feed. The create post has an on click that does set create post, which we are taking in as props in feed, which means it should be coming in set create post here, set create post there, set create post. Yeah, I don't know. I don't guess it's gonna work doing it this way. What's these check marks right here? Does anybody know? What do these check marks mean? Oh, it's just true or false state. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. Cool. Shows our login screen if login is set to false. Shows light mode, dark mode, light mode, dark mode. Cool, cool. Check the HTML element, see if it has an event on it. How do I do that? How do I check if there's an event on it when I click it? Is it in like the under layout? You can see in the HTML view a little events button if it does. See where it says flex at the end? It will have event. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I'm not seeing event anywhere. Yeah, root has event by default, but nothing's happening here. It's fine. We can just put this inside the we can put this on the element itself. Not a big deal. I just thought it'd be a little easier to do it this way. Is it by chance on click and not on click? What did I write? I probably misspelled it. Oh no, it's camel case. I was right. It's fine. We can just do it on in here. So on click. Well, actually, I copied it. I can just paste that back in. And now this should work, I believe. If we go to app, it should change that last one to true. It didn't. I got an error. Set create post is not a function. What do you mean? Set create post is a function. It's a setter function. Am I not passing it to? Yeah, I'm not. So set create post equals set create post. Gotta love some prop drilling. Ooh, I don't like that at all. Set create post is not defined. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, I gotta grab it from props. There we go. Now this should work. Cool, it changed it to true. Awesome. So now let's just render out our pop-up. But by the way, Dennis, I don't think I'll have this. I got like, what, 20 minutes left with you? I don't think we'll get to the Supabase part. So what I might do, if you really want to see the Supabase part, I might try to get like the basic functionality of this working, and then we'll tackle the Supabase functionality next week. Supabase. Yeah, this is going to be a series. I want to build out a new feature to this clone every week until we have like an actual clone. That'd be really, really cool. Because we're just mostly doing the front end today. So that'd be cool. Maybe next week we can dive into like the actual setting it up with Supabase and whatnot. That way you can have like an entire stream dedicated to working with Supabase. Because it's really cool. Supabase is an awesome database to work with. So yeah, let's do that. But anyways, let's work on our overlay component. We'll call this overlay. Right off the bat, I know some styles I want to do for this. Like height set to screen, overflow hidden. BG, let's just do red 500, make sure it all works. It's going to be absolute. Top is going to be 0. Left is going to be 0. And where are we going to render it? I mean, let's just render it on the feed, right? So import overlay from components / overlay. And we can just do overlay. Oh no, nothing happened. It kind of, oh, you know what? I think I probably need to set the width too to like full. There we go. All right, so here's our overlay. And we can conditionally render this too. We can say if create post is true, because we're creating a post, we want to render the overlay. So now, oh, we need to take create post from props as well. So now if I click this, cool, our overlay pops up, and now we can kind of put our little modal on the inside. Let's grow that app. Yeah, this will be a fun series. If you missed it earlier, I did mention that when you do create a post, you have 4 options here. You can add an image, you can add a GIF, you can add a hashtag, or you can create a poll. And I think each of these would be really, really cool and unique. So I think once we build the front end of this app, the next stream we could work on actually uploading an image, maybe connecting to the Giphy API and creating a GIF, kind of like how they have it here. Setting up hashtags, you know. We could even do, where do I go to make a post? We could even do polls. I think polls will be really fun. I think this is very simple. It's just a lot of logic. I think it'd be really cool to do though. But yeah. Eventually, when this series is over, I'd like to have like a kind of like a pretty much working version of Threads. The backend part's going to be kind of interesting for me to do because I don't know a whole lot of backend, but I know enough to get by. But it'll be pretty cool. Russ Swole is right. Training should be hard. Yeah. It's one of my favorite powerlifters. If you guys know who Russ Swole is, shout out. He's definitely one of my favorite powerlifters. He's a big dude. Really cool guy, too. 695 pound squat for 2. Wow. Granted, you use Go mostly. Yeah. Maybe you could help me out with some of the backend stuff when we work on this. It'll be pretty cool. Stream is all about learning and growing, and I need to learn and grow in my backend stuff, so we're going to get this working. All right. Cool. So we have the overlay popping up. So now it's just basically setting up that modal, which I think is a really simple component. So inside of components, we'll say create post modal.jsx. RAFCE, create post modal. And inside of overlay, I'm going to create another thing in here. Div. And inside the div, we're going to have a create post modal component. And the reason I'm putting it inside of a div is because this is already set to absolute display wise, and I need to set it to grid to center it. So I'm going to do that with the child div. But let's import create post modal from create post modal. Shout out to me for making some awesome component names this time. I'm usually pretty bad at it. Dustin, look at DC. What's DC? You mean Discord? What's going on in Discord? Backend developer trying to center things in CSS. Hush. Or I'll kick you. Let me laugh at it so people know I'm joking. I'm a pro at centering divs. I ought to put that as like a one-liner on my portfolio. I'm a pro at centering divs. Watch this. See this create post modal? We're going to center it right now. I'm going to say hold on. Class name min h screen grid place items center. Boom, look at that right in the center there. Deflex, justify center. That's some bootstrap stuff right there. I had one stream where I did bootstrap and you didn't even want to come and say hi. I think you popped in for like 10 minutes. Whole stream was dedicated to you. Now, I don't mind it though. That was a fun stream. Bootstrap was actually a lot of fun to write. You're a bootstrapper and I'm a tailwinder. It's kind of a cool name, to be honest. All right, so how do I make the background opacity? Is there like a BG opacity? Hey, there we go. Set it to 50, and we're also gonna make this just black. Cool. So if we click on this, we'll have this kind of happen. Now, is there a way that I could fade that in? Is there a fade here? No, there's no fade there, but there is an animation for the modal, which I think I can figure out how to do. It just really depends on how if it's like being rendered a certain way. I know in HTML and CSS it's pretty straightforward. Bootstrapper versus Tailwinder. Not gonna lie, Bootstrap was not bad. It was actually kind of fun to write. It's a lot different than it used to be for me. All right, so now we're gonna work on this cool thing here. I'm gonna work on that, but I'm gonna take a bathroom break. Give me like a minute, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So I think this component would be pretty simple. Should be anyway. Let's make it a little bit smaller so I can see it while I'm coding. Or actually I could just open it up in threads. There we go. I do like how it's like a full screen when it's small. And I should be doing mobile first, but we're not. But maybe that could be something I work on later on. But either way, let's work on this. This will probably honestly be the most intricate component because there's just so many like little things in here, but it shouldn't be too hard to do. I think this top part will be one container with an image, some text on top, and like an input field. And then right here, this will be just like a UL with a list of icons with a left border. And then down here, this will just be an image and a paragraph tag, and then a paragraph tag and a post button. And also we're gonna have this little new thread title up top. So let's get started with it. I guess we can do the title first. So we'll just say new thread, like that. And that's gonna have class name, we'll do text white. And we'll see what this looks like, light mode, dark mode after. I'll just set up some initial stuff, at least for dark mode. So yeah, let's just write dark, text, white. Margin bottom for sure. Do like a big one, like 10. That's probably gonna be way too much. Let's do like 5. And then I think that might honestly be it. Well, maybe text center. So it'll probably be all the way to the left if not. Cool, and now we can just create our actual like modal. So this will be the modal. Let's see. We'll do a dark BG zinc like 600. How's that look? Well, we're gonna need to give it a height. We'll do like a min height of like 100 pixels, width full, then max width of, we're gonna do the max width, something small like 500 pixels maybe. Let's see what this is looking like. Looks like a whole lot of nothing. Let's see, we have a min height, we have a width of full. Oh, is it the background color maybe? Oh. Well, I can't afford to wake up tomorrow now. Oh, you mean like literally can't afford it? Did you spend a lot of money at the store, Soli? Oh, there's nothing in here. Maybe I need something in here. There we go. Also, we're gonna need a way to get out of this modal if we don't wanna. How do they do that here? You can just click anywhere, right? If I add an on-click to the overlay, would it trigger if we click onto the thing due to bubbling? Does anybody know? I think it would, huh? I mean, we could try. We could see real quick. Let's go to the overlay and let's add an on-click to the overlay itself. And all we're gonna do here is say set create post to false. We're also gonna need to grab that. So taking some props, const set create post from props. And then let's just make sure we're passing it. Where's our overlay? Where are we using the overlay? It's not in the feed. We have our create post here. Oh, it's right here. So we'll say set create post equals set create post. Stop propagation to prevent that. I've never used that before. What is that? Event propagation? All right, so clicking on it makes it go away, but let's see if I click on this. Yeah, it goes away too. So it does bubble up, which is not good. We don't want that. Can you explain through text, I guess, how to do that? Yeah, like I understand what stop propagation is. I just never used it. I don't even know what the syntax even looks like. Oh, are you out of here, Dennis? It's all good. Enjoyed you coming on the stream. So on the one you want to stop, you add an event listener to stop the bubbling at the level. It should be e.stop propagation. Oh, okay. Okay. So what we could do is on the overlay, let's see. On this click, we'll add the event and we'll just say stop propagation like this. Does that work? Let's see. So if I click the overlay, it goes away. Cool. Now if I click this, no, it still does it. Or do I add that on the actual? Oh, okay, that would make sense. I would add this on the modal itself, right? Yeah. So let's do that. So it'd be on the create post modal. We're gonna do an on click. We're gonna take in that event and we wanna say stop? Yeah, stop propagation. All right, does that work? So this is still working, cool. Oh, that's so cool. I learned something on every stream, I swear. This is neat. This saves me so much hacking around because there's ways to make this work that is way more intricate than just e.stop propagation. That's really, really cool. That's so cool. I'm freaking out because like I said, I've found so many hacks to get that done. Love learning new stuff, especially on stream. That's awesome. Cool. All right, I'm getting overwhelmed. Let's close out some of these things. All right, we're working on the overlay and the modal right now for the new post. I'm not home yet, so I'll hop back in a bit. Yeah, no worries, Surly. It's not going to be a super long stream. We're just going to kind of get the main parts of this working, and we're not going to set this up with Supabase today, but we will next week, since Dennis is the main one that wants to see Supabase, and he's out of here. He left us. But this is going to be a series, kind of. We're going to do a new feature to this until it's fully built. So each stream we'll try to add something new till we have a fully working Threads clone. We got the basics of it so far. Don't stream and drive, Soli. Be safe. Oh, there is this feature, but it's for if you want to allow events on top bubble down. So not, oh yeah, it's kind of the opposite of what I want actually, but that's built into Tailwind. That's pretty neat. Oh no, that's just, wait, are you just talking about pointer events none? That just doesn't allow me to click anything. And if I added the pointer events to none to the overlay, it wouldn't allow me to even click inside the modal, which is definitely not what I want. So if you click the search icon, it pushes the events down. Gotcha. That's cool. Cool. All right, let's work on this modal. How does it look on here? Like this. Why does this not look centered? Oh, because we don't have the actual like modal yet. All right, let's get back into the modal component as well as the overlay. That's the only two I want to open right now. Right. No stop prop class in Tailwind, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway. I know Tailwind's got some awesome features coming. Maybe in there, who knows? But that whole stop propagation thing is sick. Thanks for sharing that. Oh man, that saves me so much time and hacky. Okay, so min height H screen. This is for the, oh yeah, we got to get inside the create modal right here. So we have the min height set to 100 pixels. I'm not sure why that's not even showing though. Does it need to be block? Is that not a block level? Oh, because I'm not even using the brackets. There we go. Now I don't even need this text in here. It should still show it. And width full, max width 500 pixels is not working. And I don't know why. There ain't no way this is 500 pixels. Oh, you know why? Because new thread is the only item, and that's the full width of this. We'll need to set the width to full on the parent. So say with full, and there we go. But that's not looking right. Oh, maybe if we set this, we take this out, it'll fix itself. There we go. But we can leave in that max width. We can say, well, let's do that on the actual parent. And then we could just say width full on the actual thing itself. And I think that's a little small. You could do like 600. What does it look like on threads? It's a little wider. We'll do like 650. Cool. Say rounded medium, I think would be good, or maybe LG. That looks pretty good. How rounded is it over here? Oh, it's pretty rounded. Let's say XL. All right, 2XL. I think 2XL looks pretty close. All right, let's also change that background color. Jeez, I can't type. Typing too fast is my problem. That's dark, but I think that it's pretty close. And we'll add a border. Say border 1. Border 2. Actually, just do 1 pixel. And then we'll say border zinc 600. That looks pretty close. Maybe 700, but I think that's the color we're using. No, we're using 800, so 700 should look good. Cool. Oops. I'm loving that I can click all I want on this and it's not bubbling up. Such a good feature. Thanks again for sharing that. Cool. Now let's just work on some of the nitty gritty of what's going to be inside this modal. So we'll have our header section, which is going to kind of be the actual thread itself. Then we'll have the options section, and then we'll have the post section. And these are horrible names, but it's fine. I'll probably delete these comments. This is just for me. So we'll have our user image again. And you know what? We're using user image quite a bit. Let's create a component for that. Say user image. Actually, we'll call it temp. Temp user image, because this isn't the user image. This is just a temporary. And we're going to take in some options here. So we're going to add some props, which is going to be the size and the color. Yeah, size, color. Size, color, and opacity, maybe. Or I wonder if you can you do class names as props? Like, can I just pass it a whole bunch of class names and it'll add it as a class name? I feel like in theory that sounds like it should work. Let's not overcomplicate things. Let's just delete this. It's fine. All right, so for the header, we're gonna have our image. We need to put this in a div so that we can style this up the way we want to, but we'll have our user image, and that is gonna be a, we'll do dark first. We'll do BG zinc 600. We'll do a size of, that looks pretty small. Let's do like, let's do 30 pixels. And not size equals, size dash. And what else? Rounded full. All right, let's just see what that's looking like so far. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, and I gotta close off this div. All right, that looks good, but that's telling me that we need some padding in here for sure. We don't need it there, we need it here. So do padding like 4. How's that look? Do padding 5 or 6. 6 looks good. Let's just do 6. All right. And next we're gonna have a paragraph tag with our name and then an input field. So this is the user image right here. And that's cool, it self-closes. Well, it's not gonna have anything in it, I mean. And we'll just have our paragraph tag with our username. And I'll just say username for these since I'm not using my name or anything. And then we'll just have an input. Oh, you know what would have been great? I don't want to go back and do it, but if this was all set up as a form so that you could just type and press enter, but we'll leave it as is. Input with the type of text, placeholder, we'll say start a thread. And honestly, I think that's going to be it for this. Let's put these two into their own container. I don't even know why I wrote class name. I don't think we'll need that, to be honest. But I do want this in its own thing so that we can take this and do a display of flex, items center, and then the user image, we can have a margin right on there of like 5. Let's see what this is looking like. Cool. Looks exactly like I wanted it to. So for the input, class name, transparent. Does BG transparent not work? Oh, I spelled it wrong, that's why. Cool. For the class name though, we'll do a text white. I don't like how bold this is. Let's also do a outline none, font light. That's cool. I do want to make our image a little bit bigger though. We'll set it to like 40. That works. That margin right's a little much too. We'll do 3. Cool. So we'll click this. How's that look? Cool. I do like that. Let's set up some state. I do want to say, nah, we'll leave this state inside of here because we're not doing all that stuff today. Const post val and set post val. Yeah, I do want to pre-select it. I'm not sure how that works though. Is it like a focus thing? Is there like an attribute you could put on it? Because that would be super good to already have that like selected. Also, is there a way to get that to look like it's actually selected? Because there is a caret in there. It's just really hard to see. It's dark. Also, for the overlay itself, let's add a little bit of padding. Do like P10. Whole lot of padding. There we go. That looks great. Selected on the input. Let's see. I'm not used to using inputs very much, but we can see. I can't tell. No, it's not selected. Now it is. Yeah, I don't know. Selected equals true. Nope. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Back again. Do want to put a width on this thing. Autofocus. Just like that. Oh, it auto cap. It did like a capital F, so maybe Sweet, it's there. It's hard to see, but it's there. Cool, it's all right. See, if I start typing, it works. Let's do a text white so we can see. Cool, so if I just refresh and I go to make a post, it's already selected. Oh, now we can see the little thing. Is this because of the text color? Cool, I do want to make this bigger though. Say text LG. And we'll add just a tiny bit of padding into this input field. Well, we'll do padding X. I'm sorry, padding Y, not the left. Cool. Yeah, for sure. I thought that was a lot harder to implement than just adding an attribute. So cool. I've learned 2 things already from you on this stream. I've learned something from you on every single stream so far that since you started joining. So appreciate that a lot. How does this look on how does this, no, make it bigger. How does this, no, I don't like how there's not a lot of like wiggle room here, but same here, honestly. I just probably need to actually remove the padding, just put it back to how it was. It's just not a lot of wiggle room, not a lot of space to breathe, but it's okay. Let's set our width to full on the input. That didn't do anything. Why not? Let's give it a BG. BG red 500. Yeah, why can't I get this full width? Does this need to be with full? Sure does. There we go. All right, it's BG transparent. Remove that red BG. Gotta spell with full correctly. Awesome. This is great. I'm gonna make this bigger a little bit. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to do min height and min width because size is messing up. So min H 50 pixels. Min width 50 pixels. Now we have a perfect circle. All right, so that's the header. Header's finished. This next section is gonna be the options, right? So probably be better to set off as individual components, but we're not doing that on this stream. We're gonna add each of these features separately per stream. So for now, I'll just hard code this into like a list item. So, I mean, yeah, a bunch of lists. And for now, though, it'll just be text. So we'll say image, GIF, what's the next one? Hashtags. And the last one is polls. Is polls spelled with 2 L's or 1? We'll just do polls. That's fine. Let's see what this looks like. Cool. It looks horrible. Let's fix that. Class name. Definitely want to do a little bit of margin margin Y of like 2. We'll say border left, border, let's just do like red 500, see what that even does. Okay, it does what I thought it would. So let's change that color to a zinc 600. Looks good. And we'll do padding left of like 5. Big old padding there. And we're gonna do a margin left of 5. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit less. All right, what is this? It's 28 pixels. Let's do like 25 pixels. Cool, that looks like it's pretty much centered underneath that. Yeah, that looks good. All right, and now all we need to do is just say like a display of flex and items center. And then we'll do like a gap of like 2. Cool, so now we have our little section of options here. I want the border to be a little thicker though, I'm not gonna lie. Border 2? Oh wait, no, that's border left. So I wanna do a border of 2 pixels. How's that look? Does my border left not work? Do I have to do border L like that and then delete this? Is that like a shorthand? Sure is. Cool. All right, let's go grab our icons so we don't have to look at this text anymore. So what was that first one? An image. What do we like? I like this one. So for React, it is, let's grab this, FA images. And we do need to import it. So where's our menu where we imported the other ones? I think it was menu item. Okay, so this is how we did it here. Let's just copy that, go back to our overlay. We're gonna paste that in here. Sorry, not the overlay, this. We're gonna paste it in here. Delete these, do file images. That's the first one. All right, let's just see if this worked. Font awesome icon is not, where is it? Right here. Delete that menu, don't need it. All right, that should work. Cool, it did. Let's get these other icons here. Actually, I'm gonna have to go to Figma for this second one because I made this icon. I could not find this anywhere, so I just made it. All right, let's copy this so I don't lose it. Let's paste it somewhere else and make it way bigger. And the text. That GIF. All right, let's export this as an SVG. GIF icon is what we'll call it. Let's see if it'll even let me use that and if it's going to give us any issues. Kind of works. What is this color here is what I want. So for all of the list items, we're gonna do text and we're gonna just paste that in there. Cool. All right, now I just need to make this SVG a little bit smaller, and that's what's gonna be kind of weird. Does that even work? Cool, it does. Looks about right, except the colors are way off. Why? I'm using the exact same color path. Unless there's a second one. Yeah, there is. Look at that. D83, D83. It's using the same thing. And then I have D83 set for the text. So why does it render in a different color? I don't like that. Is it because fill is set to none? Nope. Fill. Fill. Now can I set the fill on the entire thing? Yeah, and it still makes it that weird color. Huh. That sucks. Fill opacity? Do I have opacity on here? Oh, look at that. Yeah, I do. Good catch. I didn't even notice that. So I had to say, it's the same color value. All right, let's also set it to like 14 pixels so I can be perfectly with it. Cool. Sneaky, very. Thanks, Travis. I would have racked my brain on that all day. Not even gonna lie. All right, what's the other ones? Hashtag and polls. What did I use in Figma? Did I get these from Font Awesome? Yeah. No, I made this one. Dang, this sucks. I don't think I could find one on Font Awesome. Let's do that. Let's export it as a SVG, and we'll call it polls icon. Dang, I got a lot of missed calls. People want to call me while I'm streaming. All right. Polls icon, here we go. Let's check and see if we got any of that opacity stuff in here. Yep, we sure do. I'm gonna take that out, take that out. I'm gonna take the fill out too, because we're gonna just put it on one, on the SVG itself. Whoa. And then we could actually apply a dark, no, probably we can't. It's okay. There's probably gonna be a lot of things in here that I'm gonna have to go back and like do better. Where's the first SVG? Here we go. It's the only thing that sucks about streaming is I feel like I'm rushed. I feel like I gotta get this done so quickly, which kind of leads to some crappy code. Cool. We're gonna set the height and width with a class of size and 14 pixels, and I hope that this works. It does. That looks great. And I think there is an actual like icon for the hashtags with Font Awesome. Yeah. Dang, why is there so many options? I don't understand how this... I don't understand it. Does that work? Dang, doesn't work. Why does it not work? Is that not the thing? I wish it would tell me all those things. Like this one's, oh, because I'm in view. That's why. That's how I spelled it. Did I not spell it like that? FA hashtag. FA hashtag. Let's just copy it. Maybe I misspelled something. And then we're using it up here. Okay, now it works. Yeah, I probably misspelled something. Cool, so now we have our icons. I want to put a little bit more spacing between them. And where do I do that? Right here. UL gap 2, we're gonna do a gap 4. That looks like too much. Let's make it the same size. 100%. Dang, they're pretty small. Yeah, they're a bit bigger here, so let's make the sizes a bit bigger. So everywhere I see 14 pixels, we're gonna go up and set it up to like 16. And we're gonna have to adjust some of the other ones too. That didn't even do anything, did it? I do like 20. Does it make a difference anywhere? Yeah, it does. How's that actually look? Full sized. Yeah, it looks a lot better. but that's only gonna fix 2 of them. The other 2, we're gonna have to just update the text size, which I'm using icons. So I mean, yeah, we're using icons. So I can actually just do that on this. See, text 20 pixels. Cool. That makes it consistent. And every list item, actually, we'll just do it for the whole thing. We'll say cursor pointer. Cool. Probably should use some hover states, but we're not going to go into all of that. All right, what else is in this thing? Just an add thread at the bottom of that, which is kind of grayed out. Probably until we start typing something, right? Yeah. That's cool. Let's work on that. Then we're going to create a post, add it to state, and then append it, and then we'll be done. Basically, I have just the front end of this kind of set up today. Also, real quick, I'm going to see if I can work on that animation for the modal. Got to see how I would do this, though. I might actually have to write some CSS and add a class. Yeah. So if I go here, this is the modal itself right here, right? Yeah. How do they do that in the actual? Okay, so that whole thing comes in like that. So if I say scale, and I do like, what are my options with scale? All right, scale 50 should make it really small, and it does. Cool. And we can say opacity 0. And I want to give it the, how do I do it animation again? Oh, are there built-in ones? Are these built-in? Let's remove this. Oh, that's cool. There's like built-in animations with Tailwind. I didn't know that. That's cool. But why is it like always? Pulse infinite, because it says infinite. Can I change that? What is the shorthand for that? Is that timing? I can't remember what the shorthand name for that is. Let me see. CSS animation shorthands. And is it animation timeline? That's experimental. I don't think it is. Iteration count? No. Shorthand for animation infinite. Let's see what that is. Is it the timing function? Yeah, it is. No. No, it's not. That's not it. Fill mode? Ah, it is fill mode. Okay. So how do I do fill mode in Tailwind? Tailwind CSS for animation fill mode. What do you got? Oh, it's not in there by default. I have to go and mess with the config. We don't want that. Yeah, we don't want that. It's fine. I'll use a class name and I'll just go set up a class. So where's my index and CSS? What do we want to call this? Fade in. Keyframes. fade in 0%. We have the opacity. Actually, we have the scale. And we're going to have the opacity to 0. And I think that's it, honestly. And at 100%, we'll set the scale back to 1 and the opacity to 1. And I'll give it a class. Actually, we'll call this fade. Fade in. I don't think that's a Tailwind class. We'll say custom fade in. And in here, we'll just do animation, fade in. I'll do like 1 second. Ease forwards. And I want it to happen after a delay of like 1 second. I think this is how we can do it. I hope I didn't just waste all my time trying to figure this out and it won't actually work. Let's see. Cool, it works, but we need to do it on the actual, oops. Take this off. Also, why is that pulsing? Do I still have that pulse class on here? I bet you I do. Yeah, animate pulse. All right, let's see if this works. It kind of did. So I want that to happen, but I want that to happen like instantly. Oh, I also need my opacity to 0. I forgot I took that out. Maybe that'll work. Wait, why at opacity 0? I didn't spell it right. Kind of works, kind of doesn't. Does it happen every time though? Sweet, it does. So actually, I think we can just go ahead and remove the delay. I don't think we need the delay. And that is way too slow. We need to do like 0.5 seconds. Cool. I like that. That looks great. But 0.5 is a little low. Let's do like 0.80. It doesn't need to be like super dramatic. Oh, that looks so cool. There we go. Like it. Love it. What do they have? What's it look like? It's basically the same thing, huh? Yeah, theirs is like even less. It's like 90. Let's do that here too. 90. Let's take ease out of it. There we go. I think that looks exactly like what they have now. Cool. Cool. Love that. Glad I didn't waste anyone's time trying to figure that out. Cool. All right, back to like making this damn thing work. Class names for the options. I do want more margin. Margin Y, let's do like 3. There we go, it looks a lot better. I'm really happy with how this is looking. Almost can't tell that this is the clone. It's cool. Could watch that all day. All right. Now we just need to do our post section. Actually, no, there's one more little section under here. Let's organize this up a bit. So this is our header, which is finished. These are our options. Let's close up the UL. I think we're gonna put this right underneath it. So, what is it called? Add to thread. It's called extra threads. And this will just be a div. We'll have our user image in here again. So let's just go and copy that. Daniel, you started streaming? You would love a follow? Absolutely. Let's go follow you. Boom. Already following. There we go. Yeah, everybody go follow Daniel. How often are you going to be streaming, and what are you going to be streaming? I'd love to like come watch sometime. A donation platform. That sounds cool. Yeah, let me know when you're streaming. After this stream, I'm going to go to your page and I'll turn on notifications. That way if I'm ever just hanging out and I got nothing going on, I can come pop in. All right, so for the extra threads, header, let's copy this right here because we'll need this, and we'll just make it a little bit smaller like that. So we'll say that min, we'll do like a 30 instead. And we're also going to give this an opacity because it'll be deactivated or disabled by default. Okay, so we have that, and then we're gonna have an input here as well. Type of text, placeholder, add to thread. How's that spelled? Yeah, add to thread, just like that. Cool, and this is actually gonna have a margin Y of like 3. Let's see how that looks. That looks weird. Why does that look weird? Why is that width so long? Oh, I should probably set this to flex, to be honest. That'll fix it all up. Items center as usual. There we go. Ooh, we're gonna need some margin left too. Margin left like 5. I forget what we did earlier. We'll figure it out. Yeah, too much. Maybe 3? That's good enough. It looks like it's pretty much right under it, right? And then for the input, we'll do a class name of BG transparent. I butchered that. Add to thread, cool. But this opacity is not looking like it's going through. Can we do like 20? Oh, the opacity is on the image. We want this opacity on the whole thing, right? Opacity 50. Let's do like 30. Cool. You know what we can do? Instead of this margin Y of 3 here, let's just make a bigger margin on the actual option since it is centered, right? And we're gonna add a little bit of padding so that this line could be a little bit bigger. So we could say padding Y of like 2 maybe, or 3, we'll see. Let's try 3, let's see. 2, I think 2 is good. 2 looks pretty good. Cool, so I'm thinking this is starting to look pretty similar. Man, I could watch that animation all day. I will be coding a donation platform. It's a new version of a platform I have already made, but making more white label for other charities to use. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely down to come watch you stream. Yeah, I'll be sure to remind me at the end of the stream, or if you pop off before I'm finished today, remind me and I'll go subscribe to you. I know I already followed you, but I want to make sure I got my notifications on. Is there like a disabled class by default with Tailwind that I can use so that I can't even click this? What are these options that I get with disabled? Maybe not. I'll add a class of disabled, and then I'm gonna go over here and set this up. Index. Disabled, we're having opacity set to 0.3 and pointer events set to none. Pointer events none. Yeah, that works, but I'd rather just do it in a class name because then I could tie the opacity to it too and not have to add too many class names. That way we can just conditionally render disabled if we need to. So let's remove the opacity here and it should work just the same. Should. Yep, cool. Can't click it. Awesome. But whenever we start typing, we'll want to be able to start adding another thread like in addition to it, and also have like access to that post button that we're going to create right now. Post section. I think this is going to be simple. It's just going to be a paragraph tag that says anyone can reply, which is going to be a drop down because I think you can choose anyone, profiles you follow, or mentioned only here. So this will be another feature we can add next time. But for right now, let's say anyone can reply. And then we're going to have our button here. It's going to say post. And we're going to go copy the styles from our initial post button, even though this really should be a component because this is a great use case for it. Actually, we're going to do that. We're going to make it a component. Where is the original one? That's in our create post, right? Yeah. So we're going to say post button. All right, close it. I'm going to create it as a component, post button.jsx. And then we're just going to return that. Oh no. I clicked copy. There we go. Cut that. Let's go back. Whoa. Post button like that. I'm going to import it too. Post button. And now inside of post button, we're going to paste in that stuff. Save it. And then right here, we're going to do the same thing, post button. And then import it. Cool. How's this look? Sweet. We get our post button from earlier up here. And then just lining this up should be pretty simple. Say class name, text white. We're going to put this into a container. It's going to say flex justify between and items center. And that should be all I need, to be honest. Cool. Yeah, we do need some margin top though. We'll do a margin top of like 10. There's a whole lot of space in the original, I think. Yeah, it's a lot. And this text white's not cutting it. We're going to do zinc 600. Looks great, except it looks like it has no opacity. Let's do 500. Cool. Only thing is there's a little bit of space here that's not here. At least it doesn't look like it. So I'm going to move this over just a tad. I'm going to do margin left of like 1 or maybe 2. And I'm just being annoying. Okay, cool. So we got this. Write a thread. Should be able to hit post and it'll post it. Instead of doing your own styles, you could use @apply. You seen that before? No, I have not. What is @apply? I'm not really sure what that is. I haven't seen that at all. Be right back. Give me like 1 minute, guys. All right, I'm back. That was pretty quick. You can create your own classes from Tailwind. Really? Oh, that is so cool. So in the actual CSS, you can just write @apply and then use those Tailwind classes to create like one class name that I could use that will encompass all of these. It's kind of like a mixin if you think about it in SAS. That's really neat. Yeah, I was just thinking that. So I could use my disabled and do the add apply and add the opacity 30 and then the pointer events. That's really neat. That's cool. All right, so far this is shaping up to be the stream where I've learned so much. I'm going to save this. I'm going to bookmark this. That's awesome. Put this somewhere in here. There we go. Cool. Yeah, thanks for that. That's awesome. Yeah, I never really studied or learned Tailwind. I just kind of went and just tried to hack my way using it. So there's a lot that I don't know with Tailwind. That's awesome, though. It's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. All right, what do we have left? I think we're pretty much there. I want to be able to hit this post button. And when we hit post, it's going to take the overlay. It's going to throw it away. And we're going to have a post that pops up here underneath. This is basically how I want it to look, right? This is my UI that I built. I don't think we're going to use the skeletons from Tailwind for this. Not today anyway. I don't want to get that deep into it, but I do want to at least get a post showing, which should be very straightforward. We just grab the values, add it to state, and then loop over our posts and append them to the page. Render them to the page, I should say. Should be pretty straightforward. What's going on Discord? Dennis. Oh, wow, they're talking a whole bunch. Soli, are you here? Did you ever come back? I know Dennis left, though. All right. Let's see, where are we at? I think we already set up state for the value right here, right? We just didn't do anything with it. Yeah, post val, and then set post val. Yeah, unpacking. Unpacking your groceries. All right, let's go future-proof this. Let's go to app and set up the state for our posts. So say const posts and set posts. This will obviously be an array, and we're gonna pass that to the feed. So we're gonna say posts, and then we're gonna say set posts equals set posts, so we can set them up. But we're gonna also have to pass the set posts to the create post modal. Yep, create post modal is going to need that. Where is our create post? Dang, so that means we're going to have to pass it to the overlay and then pass it down to the create post. Modal. Well, we're going to have to pass it to create post, then to overlay, and then, yeah, I probably shouldn't be prop drilling. Unpacking groceries, chowing down on a patty for lunch at the same time. I would think it's a Krabby Patty. There's only one logical patty out there. Unless he's talking about a chicken patty. Haven't had me a good chicken patty in a while. But my bet's on a Krabby Patty. All right. Let's pass, and pass. Let's just start from the beginning. So the feed gets the create post. And then here, the create post, where's that? Where's create post? Gets the overlay, right? Where's our overlay? It's right here. When do we call this? When do we render this? The lack of real estate today is real. It's It's killing me. American patty. Jamaican beef patty. That sounds good. Sounds 10 times better than an American patty. American patty. You guys are funny. I'm actually confused. Where are we calling this overlay? Actually, I think it's probably just in the feed, right? Because that's where it pops up at. Yeah. So create post, and then overlays here. So in overlay, we're gonna do the set posts, which is what we want, but we're gonna need to destructure it. Set posts, and then in here we're gonna have set posts, and the create modal is gonna get set posts. Set posts. It's a lot of passing. I probably should have used context for this, to be honest. Maybe I'll go back and refactor it a little bit later. All right, so we're taking it from the overlay, we're passing it to the create post modal, which is where we want it, to be honest. So let's take it out of props. We'll say const set posts equals props. And now we're gonna set the posts from the post val. That is the plan anyway. So let's find our input. So this input is in our header, our create post header, right? Where's the header? Right here. Input. So what we can do is on change. I think it's on change, right? Yeah, on change. We're gonna say, take the event. We'll say set post val is equal to e.target.text content. And then for the value attribute for this, we're gonna set it to that. We're gonna set it to the post val. So let's make sure that's working first. So if we start typing right here, yeah, it's not working. Let's see what we're doing wrong. Post button is not defined. Oh wow, I should have had this open for a while. I've gotten a lot of stuff here. So in create post, post button's not defined. What do you mean post button's not defined? I'm importing it. Am I not importing it correctly? Post button. Okay, it's better now. I guess that was an old error. I don't know. Wasn't that just an old error? Yeah. I think so. But why is this not working? Let's see. I'm not getting any errors in the console. So let's first off close out of everything because I'm getting overwhelmed again. All right, let's open up the modal because that's where we're trying to get this working. So create post modal. Let's take a look at it. So our input on change, we're taking the event and set post val, which is right here. Set to an empty string, but we're saying it's going to be equal to the e.target.text content. And then we're saying value is equal to post val. Yeah, that should work. Let's see if we can take a look at our this is all living within the create post modal. Where's our create post modal? Is that the issue? Why is this so small? I don't think I can make that bigger, huh? No, I can't. Sorry if you guys can't even see this. Let's initially set this to hello world. And I think we'll see that when we click this, right? Yeah, so we'll see hello world here. Now, where do I see hello world in my my state? It wouldn't be in a menu item. It shouldn't be in create post. Okay, it's in overlay, and then we see create post. Okay, so right there. So if I start typing, I don't see... Oh, you know what? As soon as I start typing, it just changes it to an empty string. That's weird. So let's console.log e.target when we start typing. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. Hold on, sorry. It's right here. So let's use that, but let's also just console.log e.target. Oh, you know what? It's not text content, it's value. e.target.value. So yeah, I think that's our whole issue. So that should work now. So if I start typing, cool, it works. Let's go take hello world out of the default state. And now if I go to create a thread and I say hello, cool, it starts working. Sweet. Alrighty, so when I hit the post button, I want to add that to our posts. Yeah, so let's set up a function for that. Where do we do this function? Let's do it up here. Let's say function. Well, really, we don't need to do a function. We can just add on the post button. Say on click. On click, we can say set posts. How does that work? Do I put this in an array and say, no, I don't. I do it outside. So I say prev posts. And I want to take that, I want to spread that into the posts array and then add, what are we adding? We're adding in post val, right? Post val. That should work. Let's see if it's working. So we're gonna need to check our state here. And this state's gonna live in app. This state's gonna live in app. So in app, we see our state right here, number 4. So if I say hello world and I hit post, I get an error. Let's see. Oh no, I don't get an error. What happened? Well, I didn't get what I wanted to happen, that's for sure. State's still empty. We still have an empty array here. Can I console.log hello world, see if that's even firing? Make sure that that's not the first issue. Console. Yeah, we're not even getting anything in the console here, so this isn't working. So is that because I'm doing an on click on the actual post button component, and that should actually be on like what's inside? Probably. Except that sucks because I don't want this to happen when we click on the post button on the main UI over here, right? Like I don't want that to happen there. Why can't I do an on click? I feel like I should be able to do an on click. Bet you it'll work if I do it that way. Yeah, see, now I get hello world. I don't want that. I need to pass down the arguments to the button. We can say, you know what? I think you're right. So can I just say, what am I trying to do? Set posts. and I'm setting the post from the post val. So we can say set posts equals set posts, and post val equals post val. And now I have access to those inside the post button component. But I'm thinking this is also going to mess up because I'm using this component somewhere else and it doesn't have the same functionality. I don't follow. And then ... args. You mean like spreading the arguments? I've never done that before, if that's what you're asking or mentioning. Yeah. Well, so what I'm doing is, so let's see. Let's destructure the set posts setter function as well as the post val from props. And then in the on click in here, yeah, this is gonna fire every single time we click that post button. Now in the button, do button props. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't feel like this is accurate. Unless you mean here. But that doesn't make sense because I don't have props here. Yeah, I don't know. So like that. So how do I access it? How do I do anything with it? And you just got to keep in mind that this button is the same component. So if I click this, it's going to do the same thing. See, it did hello world. I don't want it to yet. Oh, so now I can do an on click on this. I still don't quite follow. So my on click is going to basically, we're just going to do set posts, and we're going to take the previous posts and we're going to spread those in here, and then we're going to add in the post val as a new item. This is what I want to happen. If I just spread in these like this, is that just going to make it work? Test. Okay, nothing happened. Let's see. Wow, that's cool. How does that even work? I don't understand how that worked. I really don't. That's cool though. I don't understand how that works. So what is this? What is this doing right here? Is it just, let's ask Copilot. Can you explain this to me? Copilot, explain this. Let's see. You're passing the props in the child component. So does this happen at all whenever I hit this post? Wow, it doesn't. That's really cool. So it says the props syntax in your code is known as the spread operator. I know that. When used in the component, it's often referred to as props spreading. This operator is used to pass down properties from a parent component to a child component. That's really cool. So in the context of the React component, props takes every key value pair from the props object and applies them as props to the component when it's used. This is a shorthand way to pass all props from a parent to a child component without having to explicitly set each one. So for example, if props object is ID1 name button, then .props is equivalent to ID1. Okay, that's cool. So do I need this in here? Because how does it know? How does it know what props I need? See, that's where it confuses me. How does it know what props I need? Wow, that still works. Headed to lunch. Enjoy some delicious Jamaican patties later, everyone. Adios, Travis. We're pretty much finishing up here, so probably won't be back when you're done. I didn't read anything you and Soli were talking about, though. Let's see. There's not one person that comes to Jamaica and tries a patty and hates it. First, what kind of patty is it? Did y'all talk about that yet? If you like spicy and hot beef with milky melting cheese baked inside, and oh, that sounds so good. Shelly Doe, you'll love Jamaican patty. I want a Jamaican patty. That sounds good. Jamaican me hungry. All right, so props. Spreading the props. So the post button, that's the thing though. Post button's not getting any props. I don't understand how it works. Yeah, the post button is not receiving any props. So I just don't understand how it works behind the scenes. Oh, the on click. Oh, that makes so much sense. So it doesn't need the props that the on click has, because the component, the create post modal, has all of that. All I'm doing is passing this on click so that I can actually use it in this instance of it, not every instance of it. Okay. That's all I needed to hear. That's really cool. This has been the most instructional stream I've had. Instructional stream. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Instructional stream that I've ever had. I've learned so much on this stream. This is good though. This I'm gonna reuse a ton. I'm sorry, that. Wow. The way that I have hacked around getting this to work in the past, and that's all I had to do, blows my mind. And you said you barely know React, or it's your weaker framework. That's crazy. All right, so if I say hello from Jamaica, I spelled it wrong. How do you spell Jamaica? Let's see if I can look for it in the chat. Or is that Jamaica? Is it? Yeah, that's spelled right, I think. We see hello Jamaica in here. Cool. So if I hit post again, does it add it twice? Sweet, it does. 2 streams I brought you: class names, add applied, prop spreading, right? I actually thought about using class names earlier and I didn't want to set it up. But I should have, because there's already a couple of instances where I'm going to be conditionally rendering some things, at least in the future. So I'll probably end up adding it, to be honest, probably in the next stream. This stream is a little bit more involved because we're building out the full UI, but the next stream is going to be adding in like a couple of features that I really want to do. I don't know blank from blank. All right, all we got to do now is render our stuffs here. That's gonna be super simple, right? So it looks like, let's refresh this, get a simpler one. Okay, so we're gonna have to render some icons, which we're not gonna do today, I don't think. I'm just gonna render out the actual thing, and we'll do that on the next stream. Daniel's been coming in hot with the stuff. Sure has. If you haven't already, Soli, go follow him. He's gonna start streaming. I don't know if you were here for that. I'm excited to watch some of his streams. Let's see here. So, yeah, we're really basically finished now. We just need to render out some of these things. Let's create a post component. Just a post. Post.jsx. And for now, we're gonna take in props. And for now, it's literally just gonna be very simple because we're gonna create a more robust post. But for now, it's just gonna be the text content. So we're gonna say call this post. So const post equals props. And inside of our feed, we're just gonna render it, right? So we're gonna go inside of app. We're gonna pass in posts from, wait, are we doing that already? Yeah, we already are. So inside of feed, we're passing in posts. So let's go to our feed. Where's feed? There's feed. So underneath the create post, which is right here, this is the overlay here. So we could put this, we could really just put this right here. The overlay is kind of separate. We're gonna render our posts component, which I don't think we made yet. We need to go make that, which is gonna be posts.jsx. And in here, we're gonna render all of our posts. So we're gonna take in props, which is gonna be posts. We're gonna say const posts equals props. And let's just leave it as a div for right now. I think that'll be fine. And we're gonna map over posts. So we're gonna say posts.map. We're gonna say post and index, and we're gonna render post, which is that little single post component. We're gonna pass in the prop post equals post. And now everything's gonna break. We need to start importing some of these things. I went way ahead of myself. Post from post. Inside of feed, we're gonna also need to import the posts. Posts from, what is that, inside of our components? Yeah. Posts, like that. Is that everything? Probably not, probably breaking everything. What are we missing? Posts is undefined, and that's inside of posts. Yes, props, because it's called post. Sorry, we're gonna rename it posts because it makes more sense. So let's go back to the posts. Oops, sorry. We're gonna need to go back to feed actually, and we're gonna say posts, and that's actually going to come from app. I probably went way too ahead of myself. Now I'm going to kind of confuse myself. So feed, we're getting posts, right? Yes. So inside of feed, posts is going to equal posts like that. But we're going to need to take it out of props. Like so. Did that just fix everything just right off the bat? Testing. Yeah, nothing happened here. So inside, okay, so let's just backtrack. So posts is right here. And all post does is render. It goes through our posts from props, which should be an array in our state. Let's set up the key, which is going to be the index. Posts.map is undefined. So, I mean, it's missing. Oh, it's just missing in props. All right, I'm overwhelmed. Let's close out of everything and backtrack, and we'll see what we missed. I probably shouldn't have did too much all at once. But if I say test, hit post, can we at least see if it added it to... Okay, so it did add it to that. Cool. Posts has it, which is great. Cool. So let's open up posts. Let's actually start from the beginning. So app renders feed, okay? Feed has access to our posts, which is right here, which is an empty array. Cool. Oh no, woke up with tonsillitis? That sucks. That is not any fun. All right, so our feed's got posts. Cool. Let's open up our feed. Inside of our feed, we're rendering the posts component. Okay, so let's take a look at the posts component. Let's go back to feed. Posts is taking in what? Posts equals posts. Posts is right here. And that's coming from props. So feed, and where are we? We're in feed. So app should render posts with posts, and it does. That's perfect. Posts. Takes in posts from props. Let's make sure, let's console.log posts and see what we're getting. Okay, cool. So we are getting an array back, which is exactly what we want. Oh, you know what? I think I need to return this. And now it should work. I always forget to return. So if I hit test, and I get out of this. Cool, we see our post right here. Awesome. That's awesome. That's exactly what we wanted. I thought I had everything. Cool. All right, so let's go and update some of the way this looks. So we'll say class name. For sure, text white. We'll do dark mode for this part just to be safe. And we'll say width full, max width 600 pixels like we did everything else. And we'll say margin auto. Cool, so we see our little test post here. Each post though is gonna have a little bit of styling, and we're gonna make this look way better later on. We're just gonna keep this very, very simple for right now. And everything's gonna get a margin, a bottom padding. I'm sorry, a bottom border. And we did the same thing on the create post up here. So let's just go and grab that. Border bottom, border zinc. And then padding bottom of 10 to make it look cool. All right, so cool. That's our post right here. I'm not liking the width. What's up with that? Oh, you know what? This doesn't have padding and this does. So let's remove that on the post itself. We'll take that P5 out. Oh, and it still didn't fix it. I wonder what's up with that. So this component is our create post. We have a max width of 600 pixels, no padding. I mean, that's what we're doing here too. You know what? I bet something has some padding somewhere. I wonder why it's just a slight bit wider. They both have max width set to 600. That's so weird. It's probably something simple that I'm overlooking. Margin is set to auto. Border bottom, border zinc. Padding bottom 10. And there's no other padding. So let's see. What are we doing here? Oh, wait, that's on the post. I'm sorry. We need to go to create post. What am I doing? I don't know why I just messed that up. Post button. All right. Oh, okay, so the max width is set to that. Let's just do that on the on this too then. And that should fix it. I thought it was 600. There we go. That works. We're also going to have some padding on top for this one. So we're going to say padding X. I'm sorry, padding Y. And that looks pretty good. The post itself, though, I'm going to put this inside of a paragraph tag. And then we could just say padding. Actually, let's just say margin left. Margin left of like 3 or 4, 3. Just give it a little bit of space on that left side. Cool. So that's that. There's a couple of UX things I want to fix though. When we make the post, I want the overlay to go away. So post button. Well, actually, we're going to go to the modal where the post button lives. And we're going to set, what is it? Inside of app, it is, or where is, it's in feed, I think, right? It's the set create post. That's what it is. So I think we already have that in the create post, right? Yeah, we do. Too many components. I'm getting lost here. So our overlay is here. Where are we? Is that on the feed? Yeah, the feed. So set create post. It's already getting that, so that's good. The overlay. So we're going to do it here to the create post modal. Set create post, and that's going to be equal to set create post. And now in our thing here, we can say set create post coming from props. And on this on click, we can say set create post to false. So now when I type something like hello Soli and we hit post, cool, it goes away and we see our new post. But if we hit this again, oh cool, it also resets it. So great. Cool. Look, we're making all these little posts. Cool. That's the basic functionality that I want to knock out today. But if we go to Figma, well, not even Figma because I have these little things here. But if we go to threads, you'll see that every post has an image, a name, the post itself, and a couple of icons and a little bit more information here. We're not going to do that today because I've been streaming for 3.5 hours so far. I don't want to stream too long today. The fuggliest looking Pikachu I've ever seen. Hold on. I can't see it. It's so small. Oh no, that's so bad. Soli, I'm going to make that a Discord. I'm going to put that in our Discord as an emoji from now on. I'm going to call it Fugly Pikachu. Hold on. You ready for this? 35. Let's go 35. Make it perfectly round. That's going to be our new image on our threads. That's great. Yeah, make it a little bigger. All right, I'm putting this in Discord so we can use this. I like it. It's cool. He is like strung out on Pika juice. I don't know. That's funny though. But cool, guys. I think we're done for today. We got the main functionality for the front end. You're gonna click this. Hello world. I just tried my very first Jamaican. What'd you call it? A meat? What did you call it? Just a patty? I'll just call it Jamaican patty. Patty. We make our post, and now we have our little post here. And I can say it was so good. Hit post, and now we have another post here, which is pretty neat. Like I said, this is very, very, very super basic functionality. We're gonna add a lot more to each of these posts next week, as well as some of the cool features that I did want to implement today, but we didn't. Like, we're gonna work on probably a new feature every stream where we can add an image, a GIF, a hashtag, or even a poll. I think those will be pretty fun to figure out how to do. Also, let's take a look at the full app now. So let's go back to our app and reset everything. We'll say logout is false, and we'll say dark mode is false, even though we can't actually change it in the UI yet. But here is our app so far, guys, because we're basically finished for today. This is a dummy login screen. It doesn't do anything. You could type, but it doesn't matter. You could just hit login, and it'll log us right in, and we have our posts. Oh, I didn't set up colors for the light mode yet, so let's actually go back and just put it to dark mode. It's fine. We'll say dark mode's true, and we'll do that in the next stream also. But we log in, make a new post. This is my first post. Post it, and we have our post. Pretty neat. Not a full functioning Threads app yet, but we're gonna make this a little bit better on every single stream. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm very anxious to build something like this from start to finish. I know it can't be done in one day though, so this will be a little series in case people want to follow along. Which part did you miss, Soli? The login? I actually did that yesterday. I didn't do that today. I was gonna just build this out for fun yesterday. I built the login component, which is just a very small component, and then I was like, you know what? Let's do this on stream tomorrow. So I stopped. But all the login is, if you want to take a look real quick, it's very, very simple. So this app has two main components, the feed and then the login screen. And all the login screen is a static welcome to Threads, an input for the username and an input for the password. And regardless of whatever, we're just changing the is logged in to true once you hit the login button. And all that's doing is saying, hey, if we're logged in, show the feed. If we're not logged in, show the login screen. So if I refresh, all you do is hit this, it changes logged in to true, and if that's true, it shows the feed component, which is this component. So it's pretty simple. It didn't take long, maybe like 10-15 minutes. I knocked it out yesterday, but I wanted to do the rest of it today on stream, so cool. This repo is not public, and it won't be until we're actually finished the series, so there won't be any PRs you can submit to this or anything, but we're going to build this step by step every stream, every Thursday. We'll add a new feature till we feel like we're ready. We're ready for it to be public, and then you guys can submit whatever features. Actually, once we kind of get the majority of everything done, I might actually set this to public. That way, if you guys want to implement your own features or, you know, the Giphy thing or maybe some emojis or something else, you guys can do that too, and I can merge it in and then build on top of that every stream. So yeah, maybe after this stream I'll make it public. We'll see. But that's gonna be it for today, guys. Oops, went away. Do something for the newbies soon. You know what, Soli? You're not a newbie, but I got something for you. So earlier you saw when we have the dark mode set to false and you log in, it kind of works, but this icon is no longer showing, the home icon. It's no longer there. Hold on, I can set it up to where we can just turn on this state really easily. Oops, this one. Yeah, so you can see the home icon is there, but whenever it's light mode, you can't see it because it's white. That's an easy fix. Also, I forgot to add the styles for this, which is also an easy fix if you want to add it. Oops, if we turn on dark mode, you can see it. It has all the styles we need. But with Tailwind, it's really easy. So if we go to that modal, you'll see that the modal itself has it says dark text white, but if I want to do text red 500, it'll show text red 500 in light mode. If you just add the dark in front of it, it'll apply that style for dark only. So now if I go and I set this dark mode, it'll be red. So this is how you can do that with Tailwind classes. If you want to go and fix the style so that it looks good for light mode, you can go right ahead. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Kind of a quick stream, not too bad. We built pretty much the majority of the front end and some interactivity for the Threads app in one day, or one 4-hour stream. Not bad. Well, 3.5 hours. It's only 3:30. I started streaming at 12. But Soli, keep an eye out on some of the 100 Days of Code projects coming soon. I've been pretty swamped this week, so I haven't been able to make anything. But next week, I'm going to drop at least a minimum of one project. But I'm going to have some beginner ones there. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff coming. Also, Soli, do you want a sneak peek at some code adventures that are coming that no one else has seen yet? No one has seen these yet at all. I haven't showed anybody. I showed Brian. Brian's the only one. I take it back. But Brian's special. Brian gets to see those. Let's go take a look. So I got 3 new code adventures coming. Here they are. Here's kind of like what they are. I'll just show you each one. So the first one is a message pins component, where you're going to build like kind of like a iMessage thing here. It's iMessages, but you'll be able to click on these dots here and you can pin or delete a message. And if you pin it, it pops up right here. But the fun part will be if you click on it, it still shows the message, whether you click on it down here or in the pins. This one's going to be an advanced one for sure. This one's going to be advanced too. It's basically a message, and you can click on the emojis up here and actually add an emoji. We're going to use the emoji API for it, which is something I've done already. I've got a video on how to do that, which is really cool. So this one's going to be complex. This one's going to be a little bit less. It's going to maybe be like intermediate. But basically all this is a data sorting component. So you have your data and the classes, your CSS classes define how this is shown. But if you click on this, it's going to toggle something and you can sort through them this way. So your CSS is just going to change. So this is just going to be maybe one line of JavaScript to toggle on a class name for the parent for this, but it's going to be able to, you can be able to sort the way your data looks. It's going to be pretty cool. But these are the 3 that are going to be coming as soon as I get the chance to upload them to the Code Adventures part of the website. I've been so super busy lately working on these and doing some other stuff, but I got a lot on my plate, but we're going to make it fun. We're going to make this fun. Advanced add on the last one, make it animate between modes. That would be cool, yeah. Somebody's at my house. I don't know who that is. Oh well. But yeah, that would be really cool. I didn't even think about that. Animation, that would be really cool. Since you're only updating CSS classes, it should make sense. Like you should be able to animate these in pretty easily. But the cool thing about Code Adventures is you build it however you want to build it. You could use HTML, you could use Vue, you could use Angular, React, whatever you want. You just kind of have to match the mockups we give you. And if you're stuck along the way, you know, you could use our courses and our content to kind of help yourself get through it. But I do plan on doing a few Code Adventures too throughout some of these live streams. So be on the lookout for that. I don't want to do all of them because people do tend to just kind of copy what I do and then submit them. Link's got a guest coming over. I think it's my sister. I think my sister's here. She's got some stuff she's storing in my shed in the back, and I think she's coming to grab some stuff. I think that's all it is. But that's going to be it for the stream, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It was a lot of fun. Always wanted to work on a Threads clone because I'm just in love with the Threads UI. I think it's really cool. I really like the platform itself. It's very simple, which I love. I love simplicity, so. Can we see sister? Nah, she's probably just she didn't even come inside. She just parked. She's probably just gonna go grab her stuff and leave. But if you guys want to see my sister, I'll make sure she's here for one of the streams you guys want to see. For those that don't know, I have a twin sister. She looks just like me. Before you go, look at Charmander. I don't see Charmander anywhere. Where's Charmander? Can I get in trouble for importing any of these into Discord? Because I totally want to make these some emojis in Discord. Not gonna lie. Oh my god, I just zoomed in on his face. Where are you getting these cracked out emojis? These are great. Yep, and my sister's calling, so yeah, she probably needs some help grabbing some stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Same time, same place next week. We're going to add more stuff to this cool Threads clone. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm out of here. Peace. Hit me up in Discord if you want to talk. Adios, everyone. Bye.